Prince Harry actually went to Afghanistan. He stepped up for his country, unlike the President of the United States. So I think that comment is really glib and really inappropriate.
Don't compare him to I don't know what, a non-royal part of the
final word to you, Carla.
His words speak for themselves. They have been heard with great weight, and they've caused huge offence. The offence and the collapse. I'm sorry, it's absolutely no good interrupting to say it's not true. I am telling you categorically, he has deeply offended our special forces, our soldiers and others. He should apologise and he should honour the fallen.
He doesn't know every detail. I'm sorry. He doesn't know every detail about every allied nation.
Well, maybe he shouldn't be talking about it then.
All right, this clip has the entire UK furious right now. Because after Donald Trump made comments about NATO troops in Afghanistan, many people here saw it as deeply disrespectful to soldiers who fought and died alongside the United States. Before we dive into the full story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now, you're about to watch this UK news panel completely tear into Trump ally Carla Sands as she desperately tries to defend those comments live on air. And honestly, the backlash gets brutal fast. Let's get into it.
Well, let me bring in now Carla Sands, who is a Trump supporter and former US ambassador to Denmark in his first term. Good evening to you. Donald Trump said, just to repeat his words, Donald Trump speaking of NATO allies, including Britain, they'll say they sent some troops to Afghanistan, and they did. They stayed a little back, a little off the front lines. That's just not true, is it?
Well, so President Trump is dealing with a lot of issues. They're global issues. He totally respects the troops and their sacrifices. And I will just say the UK and the Danes were shoulder to shoulder with American troops. But what he is looking at is the whole of NATO and its effectiveness and also its contributions when we were in the Afghanistan war. And I do have to say the majority of those NATO allies had caveats. Think of Germany or Italy. One was in, defense only, and one was sort of support. And there are many other countries that were not willing to go shoulder to shoulder. So he's looking at the big picture, not singling out the brave UK troops. And I've met those veterans. They are wonderful people in the UK, in Denmark. But if I could, I think he is looking at strengthening NATO. And when he talks about that, he talks about it in a way that the U.S. troops.
But with respect, Carla, with respect, Carla, that isn't what he was talking about. He was talking about what happened in Afghanistan, and he said, and this is why this has caused such upset here and around the world, amongst veterans and families of those who died. In Afghanistan, 3,500 NATO troops were killed, including 457 UK military personnel. They weren't staying a little back, a little off the front lines, were they?
Your UK troops, the Danish troops, a handful of others were shoulder to shoulder with us. But I'm saying that the majority of the NATO countries are not like the UK.
But he was wrong. He didn't say some. He didn't single out other countries. Why can't you just say he got this wrong? His words.
I would not take offense at this. It is on the whole true.
But people have taken offense at this.
We honor our veterans. There's no country that honors veterans more than the United States. We share how to do that with so many NATO allies. We share best practices. Many NATO countries have not taken care of their veterans. So it's not true that we don't respect veterans. He was speaking overall. NATO did not carry their weight when we were in that war. And I'm not talking about the UK. I'm not talking about the Danes.
But he was. He didn't make that distinction, Carla. He didn't make that distinction. Clearly, the Prime Minister of the UK doesn't make that distinction.
He's the President of the United States with a lot on his plate. He may not have said it the right way.
Carla, that's not an excuse for not knowing that hundreds of people from outside the UK, from outside the US, that's not an excuse for not knowing how many, the hundreds of soldiers and troops from outside the US were killed.
I'm sorry. He doesn't know every detail about every allied nation.
Well, maybe he shouldn't be talking about it then.
Overall, it was true. I'm sorry to say, overall, the NATO allies Most of them had caveats and did not go shoulder to shoulder with us like the UK and
Let
the
me
Danes
bring in
did.
Steve Baker.
I'm sorry, because I'm afraid in politics some stuff really does matter. 14 years I've been doing it, and I have to say, with things like this where people have laid down their lives, of course what you say about he's busy, he's got other things on his plate. But I've spoken to members of Special Forces today and others who served in Afghanistan. He has caused the gravest offence to them because they've lost friends in appalling circumstances, put their own lives on the line, seen people blown up on mines, and he has said to them that what they did didn't count. And the scale of the offence and the collapse...
I just want to interrupt
I'm sorry,
for a second.
it's absolutely no good interrupting to say it's not true. I am telling you categorically, he has deeply offended our Special Forces, our soldiers and others. He should apologise and he should honour the fallen.
Excuse me. We honour them, and I will just say this. If you look at President Trump and every other U.S. president in your lifetime, you will not find one who honors our military more and wants to stop the killing in the world. He has achieved so many ceasefires, and he's looking to end this war with Ukraine and Russia. No other world leader was attempting to do this until Donald Trump was elected president of the U.S. starting in January a year ago. It's true.
His words speak for themselves. They have been heard with great weight, and they've caused huge offence.
Carla, given the offence...
In my part, I apologize on his behalf for the offence, but I will say this. No one in the United States history has been more of a peace president and wants to end wars and end killing. He loves life. He loves our Brits. You know that if you read the national security strategy. He absolutely was a love letter to the UK and our European allies.
I mean, he has also accused the UK this week of acts of stupidity and other things. But you've apologised. Do you think, given you say his record on the forces and support for the forces and wanting to end conflict, given the widespread, almost universal condemnation from the Prime Minister, Prince Harry's weighed in tonight as well, veterans,
no
politicians...
one cares what he says. You know that. No one cares.
Well, quite a lot of people currently agree with him, it seems. Do you think,
he actually fought, unlike President Trump. Prince Harry actually went to Afghanistan. He stepped up for his country, unlike the President of the United States. So I think that comment is really glib and really inappropriate.
Don't compare him to I don't know what, a non-royal part of the
final word to you, Carla. Given this conversation we've had, you've apologised. Do you think it would just be better if the President just said, I got it wrong, I apologise?
I don't speak for President Trump.
I'm just asking your opinion. Would it be better? Would it draw a line under this?
And I am sorry that people took offence and that they assumed that it was about the UK, and I'm sure it was not. And he does not know about the UK and Danish sacrifices because he is looking at the globe. He does not drill down on these details like you and I might. He just, the capacity to look at the world and bring peace to 8 different conflicts, that says a lot about this man and his love for life and his love for our military and saving young men.
Carla, good to speak to you. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Nice to speak with you.
Honestly, this is why the backlash in the UK became so intense. Because at a certain point, people stop hearing this as politics and start hearing it as disrespect towards soldiers who genuinely risked and lost their lives fighting alongside the United States after 9/11. And what makes it even more frustrating for a lot of viewers is the constant attempt to explain away or defend comments that clearly offended people. Instead of simply saying, okay, maybe those remarks were poorly worded, you had figures like Carla Sands going on television trying to convince everyone that they misunderstood what they had just heard with their own ears. That's why the panel became so furious. And say what you want about Prince Harry personally, but one thing people in Britain will immediately point out is that he actually served in Afghanistan. He stepped forward and wore the uniform. That's why bringing him into this discussion created such a strong reaction, especially when veterans and military families already felt offended by the broader comments about NATO troops. What really stood out during this exchange was how unwilling some Trump allies seemed to be to criticize him even once. No matter how much outrage is caused internationally, no matter how many veterans speak out, there's still this instinct to defend every single statement instead of acknowledging when something may have crossed a line. And that's where the frustration really comes from. Because these alliances between the US, the UK, and NATO countries were built on shared sacrifice. Thousands of soldiers from allied nations fought and died together. So when comments appear to minimize that contribution, people are going to take it personally. The UK panel clearly understood that, and honestly, they weren't willing to let the issue slide. That's why this interview became so explosive and why the reaction online has been so strong. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this exchange down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next upload.